Have you ever seen someone who's seriously ill, lying in a hospital bed, barely breathing, almost unresponsive to the world around them? Their loved ones have already prepared themselves for the worst. But then, one morning, something strange happens. That person suddenly sits up on their own, then stands up, eats with great appetite, as if the pain had never existed. Their once weak voice becomes clear. Their eyes light up with clarity, and they appear completely lucid. Everyone believes the patient is recovering. But no, the very next day, they pass away, gently, like a candle that flares brightly one last time before quietly going out. This is known as the phenomenon of terminal lucidity, a term familiar to many Buddhists, as it originates from Buddhist scriptures. It refers to a moment of light returning, illuminating the self. So why does this phenomenon of terminal lucidity occur just before death? All the answers will be revealed in today's video. Let's explore together. To explain it simply using the story above, terminal lucidity refers to the sudden clarity and strength shown by a gravely ill person shortly before passing away. They may become alert, give final instructions, or crave food and drink. Typically, when someone enters this state, they often pass away within about 2 hours. This phenomenon is often compared to a lamp that flares brightly just before it goes out. There are several theories attempting to explain this mysterious occurrence. One suggests that as a person approaches death and transitions to the next world, their soul slowly withdraws from the body, starting from the feet, then the abdomen, hands, and finally the heart and brain. When the mind is no longer bound by material limitations, it becomes light, peaceful, and surprisingly sharp. Another explanation focuses on emotion. It is believed that, in the moments before death, people crave life the most. They wish to create one last joyful memory with their loved ones, and this strong desire may trigger the occurrence of terminal lucidity. Some scientists have also proposed a biological theory. A person nearing death from illness or coma may have been in a state of immobility for days, with little to no activity. During this time, the body is able to rest and accumulate a small reserve of energy. Although minimal, this energy can still be significant compared to their previous condition and may briefly improve their strength. As a result, the person may be able to interact with others, eat, or even walk. Another theory has been proposed for individuals with brain conditions, such as strokes or brain tumors. These patients often remain in an immobile state for several days and stop receiving fluids, which can lead to a reduction in brain swelling. As the swelling decreases, there may be a temporary improvement in clarity. However, this state doesn't last long, as the underlying illness continues to progress rapidly. Science has also acknowledged the phenomenon of terminal lucidity, although it remains deeply mysterious, both in terms of its mechanisms and the ability to scientifically prove or explain it. A study conducted by a team of researchers found that, among 227 dementia patients who were closely monitored, approximately 10% exhibited remarkable moments of lucidity near the end of life. Based on their documentation, the researchers reported that around 84% of those who experienced this clarity passed away within a week, and 42% died on the very same day the phenomenon occurred. This raises a profound question. How can a brain that has been ravaged by disease for years suddenly regain such clarity at the brink of death? One researcher shared a striking case. A 91-year-old woman with Alzheimer's disease. For 15 years, she had been in a vegetative state, unresponsive, and unable to recognize her own daughter or anyone else. But one evening, she suddenly began a heartfelt conversation with her daughter. She spoke about her fear of dying and the struggles she had gone through with her family. Just a few hours later, she peacefully passed away. From an emotional perspective, this is seen as a final gift, an opportunity for the dying person to reconnect with their loved ones and say a meaningful goodbye. Terminal lucidity is also referred to by Western researchers as the Ehmer's death, named after a well-documented case. Anna Katharina Ehmer, born in 1895, died in 1922, was a German woman and one of the most severely mentally disabled patients at the Hefata Psychiatric Hospital. She was almost completely nonverbal, had no concept of day or night, and rarely showed any awareness of her surrounding. However, everything changed on the day of her death. Doctors and staff were stunned when Emmer suddenly began to sing for nearly half an hour. Her usually blank and distant face became radiant, expressive, and almost transcendent. Then, quietly and peacefully, she passed away, leaving everyone who witnessed it deeply moved. Additionally, in the field of medicine, terminal lucidity has also been observed in patients with conditions such as schizophrenia, brain tumors, strokes, meningitis, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and even in individuals with severe intellectual disabilities. 2 types of terminal lucidity have been documented. In the first case, the phenomenon occurs suddenly, and the patient passes away just a few hours later. In the second, more common case, terminal lucidity emerges gradually and can last for up to a week before death. A caregiver once shared, "Before witnessing this, I often looked down on the vegetative patients I cared for. But now, I understand that I am taking care of souls that are immortal. If you could see what I've seen, you would understand that dementia may affect a person's soul, but it cannot destroy it." There are also several medical theories attempting to explain the causes of terminal lucidity. One theory suggests that, in the final moments of life, the brain goes into overdrive and commands the adrenal glands to release a surge of hormones. This hormonal spike helps to strengthen the heart, raise blood pressure, improve respiratory function, and temporarily reverse the body's oxygen deficiency. At the same time, it boosts the metabolism of the body's 3 main nutrients, regulates water and electrolyte balance, and temporarily meets the energy demands of vital organs. Following this emergency physiological rescue, the patient may experience a brief but remarkable improvement. Additionally, within human cells, there is a crucial substance known as adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which functions as a key energy storage and supply molecule. When the human body encounters intense stimulation, such as an invasion of foreign bacteria or viruses, extreme stress, or even critical situations like approaching death, ATP is rapidly converted into adenosine diphosphate, ADP, releasing a massive amount of energy. This sudden energy surge enables the body's systems and organs to temporarily gain remarkable strength. As a result, the person may suddenly display extraordinary vitality, such as unexpected mental clarity, increased physical strength, or a sudden surge in appetite. However, this burst of energy is short-lived. Once the ATP is depleted, the body quickly deteriorates, leading to death. That's why this apparent resurgence of life in a dying person is often brief and fleeting. Although patients suffering from the aforementioned conditions are at higher risk of experiencing terminal lucidity, not everyone will go through it. A previous survey estimated that this phenomenon occurs in about 4 out of 10 people who experience a prolonged dying process. However, some researchers have speculated that terminal lucidity was more commonly observed in the past than in modern medical settings. This may be due to the widespread use of pain relief medications in contemporary end-of-life care, which could suppress the occurrence of such phenomena. For most families, terminal lucidity is often misinterpreted as a sign of recovery. However, once the patient passes away, families who witnessed terminal lucidity tend to feel a deeper sense of loss compared to those who did not. This is why families should be informed about this phenomenon If they understand that terminal lucidity may be a signal of life coming to an end, they can embrace it as the patient's final gift, a last moment of clarity and connection before saying goodbye. Thus, this video has answered some basic questions about the phenomenon of terminal lucidity, a phenomenon that any patient could experience, though it may not be very common. However, this is not a supernatural event, nor is it an omen of bad things to come. From an optimistic perspective, it is a time when the patient's family can have a few more peaceful moments with them before they pass away, a time that should be cherished. We should offer warmth and affection, courageously express our care and love, and ensure that no regrets are left behind. If you've ever witnessed the phenomenon of terminal lucidity, feel free to share your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our upcoming videos in the app decoding series.